the fighter deep.
I mean, my goodness. My goodness. My goodness. Look at it. They shouldn't have let him stand up.
No.
Welcome to the Octagon Channel. Today we're going to bring you news from the world of MMA, boxing, and WWE. And here we go. A new week means new tournaments and matchups for us viewers. One of the big ones is the PFL tournament in Dubai. In the world of boxing, Naoya Inoue, one of the most talented boxers out there right now, is fighting. Here's what we've got lined up. January 24th, Naoya Inoue, Yechun Kim Naoya Inoue, is going to be the first star boxer to fight in the year 2025. At the tournament in Japan, he'll be defending his absolute world flyweight title against Korea's Yechun Kim. Naoya was originally supposed to fight undefeated Australian Sam Goodman, but the challenger pulled out of the fight twice and was replaced by Korea's Yechun Kim. Yechun Kim might not be the most daunting opponent for a boxer like Inoue, but you never know. Maybe the challenger will surprise the champion. January 24th, Fabricio Andrade, Juan El Quan. While the UFC took a break after the first numbered event of the year, other promotions decided to use the time to hold their own tournaments. For example, Thailand will host a major one-league tournament featuring a featherweight title fight between belt holder Fabricio Andrade and Juan El Quan. Andrade is the current champion of the promotion after defeating John Lineker. Now Fabricio, who trains in Thailand with Peter Yan and Alex Volkanovski, will make the first defense of his belt against Juan El Quan, whom he has already defeated. January 25th, Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes. As part of the PFL tournament in Dubai, one of the most interesting confrontations will be a duel for the title of Bellator champion. The holder of the belt, Usman Nurmagomedov, will hold a defense against the Irishman Paul Hughes. Of course, the sign Nurmagomedov, Hughes attracts attention due to the fact that it will be a Russian-Irish confrontation. And the last high-level fight in this format was between Khabib and Conor. Therefore, various parallels are being drawn and the intrigue is being heightened. And imagine if Usman and Paul had Khabib and Conor in their corners. That would be a spectacle. And this fight could also be the last for the Bellator League as the promotion enters its final days. So either way, the fight will be historic. January 25th, Vadim Nemkov versus Timothy Johnson. Vadim Nemkov is one of those fighters who only lost after the merger of PFL and Bellator. Fedor's student decided to move up to heavyweight, but only had one fight in a year and a half. The Russian didn't want to participate in the PFL Grand Prix, and it was hard to get a fight outside the Grand Prix. Vadim was in the mix for a while. First he had to fight Ante Delia, then Corey Anderson. But in the end, he'll be going up against veteran Timothy Johnson, who lost to Fedor Emelianenko in 2021. It's not the best matchup, but for Vadim, this is the last fight of his contract with the PFL. After this, it's likely that Nemkov will look for other options to continue his career. The UFC Fight Night 250 Mixed Martial Arts Tournament will take place in Saudi Arabia on February 1st, with the main event of the show featuring former UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya versus Nassourdine Imavov. Here is a list of all the pairings for the tournament. Main card Israel Adesanya versus Nassourdine, Imavov Sharabuddin Magomedov versus Michael Page, Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Said Nurmagomedov, Vinicius Oliveira, Andre Muniz, Ikram Aliskerov, Muhammadjon Naimov, Khan Offley, undercard Shamil Gaziev versus Thomas Peterson, Abdul Karim Al-Selwadi versus Jordan Levitt, Terrence McKinney for Damir Hadzovic, Fares Ziem, Mike Davis, Bogdan Grad, Lucas Alexander, Hamdi Abdelwahab, Jamal Podges, Mayra Bueno Silva, Jasmine Yasudavicius. UFC heavyweight champion Jon Jones has posted a new post on his page, sharing new photos with his followers. It was an honor to attend the inauguration and honor the 47th President of the United States. The evening was extraordinary, overflowing with gratitude for the opportunity to witness such a historic moment. I am deeply grateful to have been a part of this special event, surrounded by people who share a love for this great nation. This experience will forever be a reminder of the resilience, hope and the strength that define the American spirit. It will be a night to remember for a long time, Jones wrote, attaching a photo to the post with Canadian fighter George St. Pierre, entrepreneur Mark Zuckerberg, and brothers Jake and Logan Paul. Javier Mendes, trainer of Russia's Umar Nurmagomedov, said that if his fighter had told him he broke his arm during his bout with Merab, the fight would have gone differently. If he had told me he broke his hand, we would have changed the plan for the fight. Khabib and I would have completely changed the plan because Khabib is a great corner. He's one of the greatest. Umar didn't tell us. That shows what kind of warrior he is. But if he would have told us, we would have changed the tactics. Why would we do what we did and let him work with a broken arm if we knew? That would have been stupid. I would have made him work his legs more. Keep his distance. Keep throwing leg kicks. He's good at that. At one point, I saw that Umar was putting his head down more and more. And I thought that Merab must be much stronger. Yes, he's really strong. But I didn't know that Umar had broken his arm. He didn't tell us, quotes Mendes MMA junkie. Recall the fight lasted all 5 rounds and ended with Dvalishvili winning by unanimous decision of the judges. The Georgian inflicted on the Russian the first defeat in his career. He also has 18 wins on his record. Dvalishvili, in turn, won his 18th mixed martial arts victory. He also has 4 losses. John Wood, coach of Georgian fighter Merab Dvalishvili, revealed what injuries the athlete was approaching the fight with Russian Umar Nurmagomedov with. His leg. He cut his leg on the bench as he walked by. He had cuts all over it, but he continued to train. He ended up stitching up the cuts late, and the stitches came apart. His whole tibia was infected, and it became a problem even getting cleared to fight. Then his back. The UFC team came to see him the other day, and he was training outside and jumped badly and pinched a nerve. He couldn't walk for a week. It was a tough training camp, Bloody Elbow quoted Wood as saying. Regarding the loss of Umar Nurmagomedov, John Wood said the following: "No, nothing surprised us in this fight, not at all. He did what I thought he was going to do, and maybe he broke his hand in the first round, maybe he didn't, who knows? As far as I remember, a broken arm doesn't affect your cardio. I don't think your arm and your lungs are connected, so it didn't matter in any way, and who cares, it's a fight, it happens. If anything, I would say it was probably even easier than expected. And that's no disrespect. That's a testament to how good Merab is. And I really want people to start noticing that." Daniel Cormier, a former UFC champion in 2 weight categories and now a member of the Hall of Fame, believes Russian Arman Tsarukyan should keep his title challenger status, even though he didn't fight at UFC 311. Remember, Tsarukyan quit less than 24 hours before the fight because of a back injury. I think Tsarukyan should be the next challenger. I believe in Arman. I think it'll be a rematch, and sure, Charles Oliveira is supposed to be next. But I still think Tsarukyan's size and skills could pose serious problems for Islam Makhachev, Cormier said on his YouTube channel. Ukrainian Oleksandr Usik, who's undefeated and a former world heavyweight boxing champion, has admitted that he'd like to play soccer after his career's over. Usik also recalled that he has a contract with the soccer club Polisi and has gone on the field representing the team in friendly matches. Plans after boxing? I'll be a soccer player. I'm a professional player. I already have a contract with the Ukrainian team Polisi. They recently beat Shakhtar, a team that's probably familiar to you. I've been a fan of Dynamo Kiev for a long time. When I was a kid, I used to go to the stadium with my dad, and it was the Dynamo Kiev Stadium. It's a club with a rich history, but Polisi gave me a shot, so I signed a contract. I'm planning to score a goal for Dynamo in the future, Usik said on Ring Magazine's YouTube channel. Tom Leffler, manager of former world heavyweight champion Wladimir Klitschko, has talked about the Ukrainians' possible return to the ring. According to the manager, Klitschko is still working out to stay in shape for a potential fight. Wladimir is in excellent shape. He won't be fighting Usik. He wanted to fight Fury, but Fury took another pause, Leffler said in an interview with the YouTube channel S News. Klitschko is 48. He ended his career in 2017 after losing to Britain's Anthony Joshua. WBO welterweight world champion Teofima Lopez has shared his thoughts on the upcoming rematch between former absolute lightweight world champion American Devin Haynie and his fellow countryman Ryan Garcia. I think Garcia will win again in this fight, and obviously I'm interested in fighting the winner of this matchup. But first, they've got to get past these two tough opponents. Isaac Cruz and Jose Ramirez are no joke, so let's see how they do first, Lopez said on the YouTube channel Seconds Out. As we all know, the biggest investor in the boxing world, Turki Alash Sheikh, said that Haynie and Garcia could fight each other in October 2025 if they win the upcoming fights scheduled for May. In those fights, Garcia will face Isaac Cruz, and Haynie will fight Jose Ramirez. Terence Crawford, the former all-around champion in 2 weight classes and current WBA light middleweight title holder, responded to criticism from star Mexican boxer Saul Alvarez. Alvarez believes that Crawford has had no worthy opponents in his career other than Errol Spence. It's very funny. What a crazy thing to say. Am I understanding you right? Absolutely all of my opponents except one are bad fighters? All right then, I'll put it in writing. Just don't forget what you said. I always make my tough opponents look like bad fighters in the ring, Crawford wrote on his social media page.